Loading. Okay, and we are live. This is Governor Loopy, and I'm back with another awesome, excuse me, awesome episode of Governor Loopy's Roundtable. We are with we. This is the second episode of the second season, which is dating in the 21st century. I have here Zach and Tay. Hello, guys.
What's
Say
up?
hi. Okay, they're gonna be with me on this journey for this episode to discuss. Um, we are discussing the effects that feminism has in the 21st century with dating. Like, I mean, come on, with the Me Too movement and everything, there's a huge impact on dating when it comes to feminism. Um, you guys agree with that?
I'm kind of on the fence about it. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. It's not good if
Okay,
everybody
okay.
agrees anyway.
It's never good if everyone agrees. It
Exactly.
really isn't. It doesn't make things as interesting as they could be.
Yeah, it makes for a boring show.
It does. So I'm going to start off getting into something interesting I saw this week. And I saw a lot of women, not a lot, that's an exaggeration. It's a huge exaggeration. I saw a few women. I don't know if it was planned. I don't know if there was like a little skit that they were doing. It didn't look like a skit. I'm gonna be honest, it didn't look like a skit. They go into their boyfriends or husbands' consoles or video games, PC, whatever, and they delete their progress. Or say if a guy was playing NBA 2K or something along those lines, they went on there and they deleted his best players. One even went so far as to cut up his games just because she felt like he wasn't spending enough time with her. I don't understand it. I don't comprehend it. And it's not because I play video games myself. It's because before I played video games, I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel the need that you must spend your every waking moment with me and you are my hobby. Your partner cannot be your hobby. But leave it up to feminists, they can get whatever they want these days. That's how I feel about it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Well, I don't think they were necessarily professed feminists. But these days I feel like you have to announce to people as a woman that you're not a feminist versus that you are for them to know that you're not. It's kind of really assumed that you are automatically just because you're a woman.
Well, there's the big divide between like the first and second wave feminism versus like third and fourth wave
Oh my
feminism
god,
for like
so
the
much.
newers. Yeah, so I think it's pretty safe to say that everybody's like a first or second wave feminism because nobody around, at least in this country, is trying to suppress women's rights to vote or something like that. As for the third and fourth wave feminism, which just seems to be more like a social movement and like poking at trumped up fake social inequalities that exist, like the whole man spreading thing where guys on the subway would spread their legs because they have balls, and so you don't want to crush your balls with your legs, so they spread their legs while they're sitting on the subway, and then women are like, oh, it's a sign of male dominance when they're trying to take your leg space from you, so spread your legs back to prove that you're equal to men. Well, no, that's not why that works at all. But I think as far as this relationship thing goes, I'm not sure if that kind of behavior is, if it is attributed to a kind of feminism, it'd be closer to the third and fourth wave than the first and second. And it doesn't even seem like it's really a feminist thing so much as it's just a bunch of women just being a cunt and not knowing how to be in a relationship.
Yes. Yes. I like that. This is why you're here.
Well,
Tay.
I'm always good for angering people, so there's that. Right, and that's kind of why I was hesitant to attribute this necessarily to feminism, because like people have been cunts for as long as people have interacted with each for as long as social interaction has existed, people have been not very nice to each other in one way or another, and especially when it comes to breakups where somebody feels particularly hurt. But as for this particular instance that you brought up with the video games and stuff, like I don't know if that could even be considered a healthy relationship, and like something from that or something that winds up like that is just bound to happen from an unhealthy relationship, because at least in this case the girl thinks that they're so important to the guy that they must usurp every other nice thing that guy has in their life because that woman is supposed to be the only nice thing he ever has.
Amen. Amen.
I mean, and
I
it doesn't
go
even
ahead.
have to be, it doesn't have to be like video games even, like it could be like let's say for example like some couple goes out on a date, and this guy is like really enjoying his food, and he's enjoying his food a lot, and he's like really into his food, and like tries to start up a conversation, and he's just stuffing his face because he really likes his food, and then he has to get up, go to the bathroom, and then she just takes a pepper shaker, dumps all of that shit on his food, and then spits in it. And then he comes back. It's the same thing. All you did was just ruin something nice that he had. It didn't fix any problem.
Exactly. Excuse me. And that's what I keep telling people. People are like, it's just a game. He's doing all of this over just. It's not just about the game. It's the fact that it's the principle of the matter. It's the fact that you decided that because he puts his attention towards something else and not 100% on you, that you will take it from him and that you're punishing him for that.
So then, so then buy the men's shirt. Right. And if it's
Because
the
they're
same product,
cheaper.
yeah, if it's the same product and it's cheaper, then you're not going to notice a difference with the quality of the product, and you're not going to have to pay that extra tax.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I used one of my grandpa's razors one time and that didn't end well for me.
Right.
Don't listen to her. She doesn't shave.
And the
Like her
argument is
legs
they're
doesn't
not the same
require it.
razor. Like the women's razor, like the main difference between men and women as far as shaving goes is men shave in front of a mirror and women shave in the shower. Women have a lot more curvy spaces that they have to shave, where guys just generally, if they shave their face. We don't shave our arms, we don't shave our armpits, we don't shave our legs, we don't shave any of that. And that requires a razor that does bend a bit better than a guy's razor would. So a girl's razor would have to be more flexible to meet the contours of those curves, whereas a guy's razors can just be like, well, if you can drag it down, that's all you need to do because you're just scraping your face off.
You're not practically hairless. You are hairless and you didn't pass the gene down to me. How dare you?
Yeah, that's true, but that's because men don't have those feminine needs.
I just look. I just stopped talking to a guy who his whole thing was based off emotion and experience. No logic. No logic. Oh my god. Continue. So, eh, eh.
I'm
See,
not sure about
I don't think it should be my. I don't think it should be. So here it is, Tay. Think about this: supply and demand. Why should it be special just because they're women? It's supply and demand. Supply is women like hair care products more than men do.
that. Right.
Tax. Women like um smelly lotion and stuff more than men do. Tax. The only thing that I don't feel should be taxed is pads. That should not have a pink tax
Yeah,
because you bleed. Okay.
as far as feminine products go, for things that are for your period, like tampons and pads and stuff like that, that should absolutely be supplied by what I would consider a universal healthcare system. Because you can't stop that. It's going to happen, and it's not like the big talking point against for healthcare for everybody is like, oh well, it's just people being irresponsible with their own health and well-being, and they're just out doing stupid things that get them sick or get them in trouble or something like that. No, you can't stop a period. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You're gonna need something for it. So I do think that should be covered by healthcare. But those feminine hygiene products that are like scented oils and lotions and hair care products and all that stuff, that's not a necessity. Like I don't see too many women out there, going around buying motor oil and power tools and then doing any of that stuff. But guys don't consider it a male tax to buy those things. I don't consider it a male tax to go out and just buy Magic the Gathering cards just because it's a hobby that like almost only guys seem to like to do. Just because only guys do it doesn't mean it's a tax on being a guy.
well,
Right.
yeah, well,
Sure.
it's a hammer, it's a screwdriver, it's a all pink within a pink bag.
Okay. No,
Because the more
no,
it
the more
sells, the
something
higher
sells, it's
the
no,
demand
it's
is.
supply and demand is the more people need to buy it, the higher the cost is. As my economics teacher back in college once said, if it were on the market, the most profitable thing you could possibly sell would be heroin because it has a near perfect demand. Like once you're on heroin, you can't stop wanting heroin, and you will always do everything you can to buy more heroin. And because it has that near perfect demand, even if you have an infinite supply of it, you can still hike the price up all you want because people are going to buy it regardless of what the price is.
I did not know that about heroin. Thank you for
Well,
informing us.
that's what my economics teacher used as an example. I would in this case I would use healthcare instead because I think it's a lot more poignant and it's a lot more it is a lot more relevant to our current society because you will pay anything to live. Sure, absolutely. Everybody wants to get away from heroin. Sure. Hmm. Yeah, when you include everybody, you include the racist. Yeah, go for it. Okay, and that's all fair, but back to the glass ceiling you were talking about. What exactly are some examples of professions where women are paid less than men, and then why would said employers want to hire men over women if they are cheaper to employ, and would then save the employer more money by hiring women over men if they can get away with paying them less? Well, let's say Oh, I'm not saying nepotism isn't a thing. Where like almost every job I've had, I only ever got because I knew someone that worked there and they could use me as a reference. But I'm oh, go on. I get a vague understanding of it, but no. Sure. Yeah, like the good old party or
You
GOP.
should be very familiar with that, Zach.
I what because I'm a white guy, I automatically know old white
No,
people.
because you work for who you work where you work. That's why you pull up the page and what do you see?
Oh, you were talking about like the page of executives and all that. Oh yeah, yeah, they're all old white farts, absolutely. I mean, I would say there's lots of reasons. Mhm. No, but no. But if I was saying, if only 7% of the population is African American or black or people of color, why shouldn't the board be white? Because they're representing the majority of the people that live there. I'm not saying they shouldn't be represented at all, but I'm sorry, what was that? No, I don't.
Tell him.
Okay.
Civilized. There was nothing wrong with the way they were living. They were not there was no shootouts, nothing dramatic, nothing bad. It was just an area where majority of black people lived, and now it's Brentwood Square. Is that where I thought it was Brentwood Square? I thought it was by Brentwood Square behind those. Oh, okay, my bad. Okay. Brentwood Promenade.
Oh, so you're talking about like gentrification.
We can't have a small part of Brentwood, but we getting off subject a little bit here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Kind of deviated away from the feminism thing. But again, you would have a competitive advantage if you did it that way. Like if if that is the case, and that is all that there is, it's just because everything is because it's been grandfathered in that way, then you can go and start a company and you can hire only women in that company. So then go do that. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's then you're not making a case against institutionalized sexism. You've jumped over into monopolies, and I would absolutely agree that monopolies are a horrible thing. But, right, but again, that's monopolies, not sexism.
Which is illegal, by the way.
It is. But I mean, it's illegal to hire only men too. It's illegal to hire only white people. It's illegal to hire only black people. Well, well, yeah, and I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with the prospect of completely free markets. That's a dumb
I
idea.
do. If you can take it, baby.
Okay, so then why isn't we should reinstitute slavery then? Because keep your government hands off my slave trade.
Wait. I said if you could take it legally. Like if you can make money with this and you can keep building and making money, there shouldn't be a law to stop
I
you.
I can make
For
money by selling
example,
drugs, but it's illegal for me to do so.
I don't think selling drugs should be illegal. If someone wants to destroy their body, who am I to stop them?
Okay, what if I
To
think
me,
that selling
America,
slaves should be legal? Why?
you
What if I think
forcing someone to do something so that you can make a profit. Now,
is capitalism? Yeah, we keep deviating away from feminism. Right. Right. And I don't disagree with that at all. Now I don't right. And now I don't know hardly anything about this Me Too movement thing that's been going on. But is it like some kind of continuation of the I'm with her movement or something like that? Yeah. Didn't that whole base of I'm with her just turn into a feminist movement or something like that? And like I said, I don't know anything about it. I mean, I don't like Hitler either. Oh wait, was this that college student that falsely accused a guy of rape and then ruined his life with it? I think he's the one who dropped. At least the thing on the top says we're still live. Oh, okay, okay. I remember this now. Yeah. Oh no, Terry Crews came out and said that he got sexually assaulted by one of his male producers at one point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know it, that I know of, but yeah, I mean, and to be honest, if it's guys in positions of power, and especially in like let's limit this to Hollywood because that's where most of these instances are coming out of. Is that fair to say? Okay. So if you look at like all the producers and the writers and all these people in positions of high standing in movie making and the film industry, show making, all that, most of them are all men. Would you agree with that? Like a large majority of the producers and writers and the people in high positions of power in Hollywood are men. So I don't think, unless they were gay, it would really cause them to sexually harass other people of their same gender. So the majority of sexual harassment from straight men would be towards women. Yeah, yeah, like Ben Affleck.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. I
Okay,
think.
have you guys been talking this whole time?
Yeah, I think it's been recording too, because I think you were the only one that dropped.
Oh, okay. So what did you guys say after I said and I dropped my mic? How did we get there after I dropped my mic?
Right.
No, we're not at Me Too yet. We give me a second.
Yeah, I didn't know we had like a PowerPoint laid out for our timetable here. Uh,
Okay, okay, okay. Keep going. You guys keep going, you guys. Sorry.
I've seen like an episode or two. It was not. I never really was into sitcoms. Yeah, yeah, I remember his face. and that's fair. To say that at least. But you do have to consider other things like shows like HBO, for
It's a
example.
free market.
Right. In that sense, yeah. Like, have you seen anything on HBO like at all lately? Like Game of Thrones or Westworld? Uh, So if you've seen that, you know at the very least it is required of the actors, at least for shows like that, they have to be nude and they have to be comfortable being nude. And it's not sexual harassment to say, "Hey, I need you to get naked in front of this camera," because it's part of what they're filming. It's scripted. It's there. You have every right in the world to not do it. But in the in yeah, in the process of casting though, you have to test those people and be like, okay, I need to make sure you're able to do this. I need to make sure you're able to be comfortable being naked in front of other people because you'll need to be doing that for your job for the next couple of months or however long it's going to be. So on that note, I can understand what some things that would be considered sexual harassment shouldn't actually be considered sexual harassment as far as Hollywood. Now, as far as forcing sex on someone, that is absolutely not fair game at all. And there's no point in any kind of casting where you need to be able to have sex with someone because most of that sex is fake. Unless you're doing porn, in which case, what in the world did you what in the world did you sign on for? Right.
We really straying right now. In dating.
Oh yeah, we did stray from that a bit. That's this is going all over the place. This is what you get for adding me on. I'll take us to places you never thought you'd go.
Well, I'm glad you asked. We want to proceed to how feminism has taken over the dating world so much so that you have men who are the men who have no balls to take steps with certain women are begging for it. Okay? Facts. There is a difference between a male and a female. You hear that, feminist? Do you hear that, modern feminist? I embrace my difference.
I mean, I will not disagree that there are differences between men and women.
Like, for example, you have a vagina and he has a penis.
Yeah, that's you got those pronouns mixed up right there.
What, what do you mean? Well, like, if you're a feminist, you have a vagina. Well, I guess feminists aren't all women. My immediate thought is feminists are all women. If you're a female feminist, you have a vagina and he has a penis. Now, I'm still going. Two, fact. Women are just as corrupt as men and more manipulative. Three, women feel they should always get their way because, listen very carefully, they're women. Yeah. I'm working my way back to that. So I'm not saying all women. I'm not saying all women. You know, you guys know from the last episode of the last season, I hate absolutes. So know that when I in this particular case, when I'm saying all women, I'm saying or women in general. Sorry, women. I'm saying feminists, modern feminists, not just like not just like the like Zach was saying earlier. The first two waves, I looked into that. I looked into the goals and what they were pushing for, and all, and then what the last few waves are pushing for. There's a huge difference in what's pushed for. First, you want equality, then you want to dethrone. Power corrupts. The more power feminists get, the more they want. And they're just like, when it comes to power, men. Now, when I say they're just like men, even though there's a difference, I mean anyone could be corrupt when it comes to power. And the feminist movement is a great example of that. Is it, the way it transformed, and I wanted to go into this with dating because it transformed dating so much so that a guy doesn't even want to touch you unless you say yes 10 times because he's scared. I don't want a
Yeah.
guy scared to touch or talk to me.
Yeah, I understand the feelings that you're putting out here, but a lot of that has to do with a lot of guys not associating with enough women to really get a read on how they feel. And I think that's kind of important because the whole thing with guys having to ask consent 10 times before, they start getting intimate is a lot due to not even just feminism, but just consent laws in general. Because our consent laws are kind of bullshit. How women can be plastered drunk, sleep with a guy, and then revoke consent post sexual act, and it's considered rape for that guy. But if a guy gets drunk, has sex with a woman, and then he regrets it the next night, oh no 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 no, that's still the guy's fault for doing that. He still had complete control, even though control for a woman is removed according to legal definitions. They didn't have the legal ability to consent if they're drunk, but guys do, no matter what.
I feel that if you drink, it should be the equivalent of you having sex. The equivalent of you having sex is you're understanding the consequence of this. You can get pregnant or you can get an STD. Just because you get an STD from someone, unless they purposefully gave it to you, you can't go and say he gave me STD, lock him up.
I mean,
So
if
it should be that when you're drinking, you make the collective decision to drink as much as you drink. So because you make the collective decision to drink as much as you drink, then the decision after you drink to sleep with whoever the fuck you decide to sleep with should be on you. The action was you drank. The effect was you had sex with somebody that you didn't plan to have sex with. Whose fault is that? Yours, because you drank.
agreed, and
Well, how is that his fault?
I
How
want
is,
to
he
jump the gun
doesn't say
here.
no. How is it his fault that he doesn't know her? She doesn't normally do this. It's not his fault that she decides to
Let,
drink and act
let,
outside of
let me
character.
let me jump in and try to bridge this gap real quick. Makante, under your definition of women going out and drinking and resulting in sex, under what you laid out, any woman that was raped by Bill Cosby, it was her fault because they took a drink from Bill Cosby.
No, actually, Bill Cosby, the only thing that he admitted to and how they locked him up, he admitted to administrating the drugs. He told them he was giving it to them, and they took it anyway. They made the collective decision to take those drugs, and no one denied it.
Okay, I can understand that. But let's say in the scenario that nobody admitted to drugging someone, but you accepted the drink from the guy even if you didn't know
Well, that's a
you were
different
being drugged.
situation. This is a totally different situation. When you go out and you drinking, you understand that you're consuming alcohol. If you're
Right.
consuming something that you don't know that you're consuming, if you're consuming a roofie, that's different. That's date rape. That's a date rape drug. If you consuming alcohol which you plan to consume, then that's your fault. If you're consuming something other than you plan to drink, then that's not your fault. But if you make the collective decision to take a step and make an action, and whatever, if you go under any type of drug, whatever you do under that drug, if you go willingly, to me is your fault. You decided to take that step. But Tay, you have the common sense and mentality to understand if you're doing something unfamiliar, you either have someone with you and you can instruct that person to make sure you don't do anything silly, or you don't do it in a place where you're around strangers where anything bad can happen to you. You have to have the mentality. Men have to have that same mentality.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So the I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. He shouldn't. No man. It shouldn't be that because she's stupid, he's a problem. I mean, because she does something silly, because she decides to step out of character and do this, he's a problem. You make yourself vulnerable. It's like someone in the business world saying because there's someone here who has no experience, doesn't know how to operate, can't count their money, coming in and legally taking their stuff. There's no problem with that because they should have been smarter with themselves. They should have been smarter with what they're working with. Because we're down to women and their bodies, it's down to, oh, it's a problem. I believe there's a certain level of bullying where kids will be kids. Now this generation of children, this generation of children and this generation of parents are the weirdest, oddest things I've ever seen in my life. I could be bullied and not want to kill myself. There's some things that were done to people back in the day. There was 20 times worse the things that are happening to kids now. But they did not want to kill themselves. They did not take themselves out of this world. They
That's true.
And the parents, to me, let's say the parents should be preparing their children. It all comes down to what they prepare them for. I believe that the parents can prepare for a certain level, and after that, then it's up to the kids to take what they're taught. But I also believe that the parents should be like the children shouldn't be winning trophies for not winning. The children stop giving them stuff for not doing anything. This is why I'm homeschooling my children. I don't know, Tay. Back in my day, people did do that. I mean, did you see Mean Girls? The movie that came out in my generation. So, I mean, we handled that though. We handled it. That's stupid. Wait. I want to apologize to people that feel like I'm insensitive towards suicidal people. I am insensitive towards suicidal people, but I want to apologize for the impression I just made and then the one I made again. Go ahead. Because it was funny to me. Go ahead, Tay.
All right, don't try to hide it. Oh no, you're fine. I haven't really had a whole lot to add to the conversation on this. I do need to interject and say that as far as internet bullying goes, there is literally nothing stopping someone from just not visiting the sites that they're being harassed on.
Yes.
People always say like, "Oh, look at all this harassment on Twitter and Facebook and all that." I don't use a single one of those sites with any regular amount of consistency. I don't go on Twitter at all. I've never been to Twitter. I don't go on Snapchat. I don't go on Instagram. I only keep Facebook for the Messenger app that it has. I hardly ever update it. I hardly ever check anybody else's business. If anybody has got something so important that they need to tell somebody about it and they think I'm worthy enough of knowing about it, they can text me or call me or something like that. I really prefer face-to-face or what is commonly being referred to as the meat space over cyberspace interactions because it's trash. A lot of everything you'll see on the internet is just straight up trash. I mean, you can tell me all you want. I'm not gonna know what it's like to be in an all girls middle school. It's and that's fine. I understand that viewpoint, but then the next thing is all those people that saw whatever message on whatever app or website is a matter of is it true?
It's
Is
a
the things
matter of
being
mental
said true?
toughness.
And and nobody fact checks anything anymore. It's tedious to try and fact check literally everything you see on every website, but as far as the school gossip goes, it's you should never assume anybody under the age of 15 has any idea what the hell they're talking about on the internet. As and Facebook is supposed to have an age restriction where you're not even allowed to make an account on the site unless you're at least 13 years old.
My cousin had an account at 10,
Now,
okay?
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying, according to the rules of Facebook, if you're a 10-year-old kid on Facebook and you're being harassed, well, you broke the rules of Facebook and you shouldn't have been on there to begin with. And if you're being harassed by other 10-year-olds, if you're being harassed by other 10-year-olds, they broke the rules of Facebook. They ain't supposed to be on it either. So that's all a whole bunch of people just doing everything they've been told they're not supposed to do and then reaping the consequences of it. And right. And I'll certainly agree that a person who is a victim of a circumstance that other people put them in is not responsible for that. Like if I went out and shot someone in broad daylight, it's not the person who I shot's fault because they went out in broad daylight. It's my fault for shooting that person.
First of all, first of all, children are forced to go to school by the government, so that's not even anything willing right
Uh,
there.
you yeah, you
The parents can choose the homeschooling option, but if
the
the
parents can also
parent
choose private
decides,
school
children have very limited decisions to make. So to compare children
because they're not legally cool.
to grown as women in a bar is totally two different things, and I don't
Well,
even want to connect those dots.
it's not totally different. It's people being held accountable for their actions versus other people being the victim of other people's actions and holding the people that perpetrated that action on the other person accountable for that. So saying
She's a victim because he noticed that she's drinking and she can't handle her liquor, which will make it easier. She's making the conscious decision to drink. And he's noting, oh, okay, that's an easy one for me to have sex with. Why work hard over here when I can have someone over here who's consciously drugging themselves? There's a huge if you decide to take that action, whether you know what you can handle or not, you're a grown ass woman in a grown ass bar making a conscious decision to drink liquor, whether you know what you can handle or not. But how is she giving him something that she's at the bar? She wants to drink. She agrees to drink. No, I'm making the decisions that just because she makes the decision to drink, you drinking, she knows that drinking can impose your decisions. You know that drinking can influence your decision. You know that drinking can influence your decisions, just like the women with Bill Cosby that took the drugs. You know that any drug can influence your decision making. The moment you decide to have sex, you understand that this can make a baby. The moment you pick up alcohol, you should understand that this can influence me to have sex. And if you, as a grown ass woman, don't know that, then you're gonna learn today. Cause there's a grown ass man that's gonna take advantage because he got a penis and you got a vagina and you tipsy. Let's rock it. So because she's stupid, he gotta pay. We gonna have to agree to disagree because I'm not gonna agree with you on this. To me, the moment she picks up the liquor and she understands that influences her decision, she's already made her decision of what she's going to make when she's drunk. So we're gonna have to agree to disagree and move on. Okay. However, we are gonna hop into we're gonna segue. We're gonna jump across like 100 feet and segue into Ellis Ross. Why are we segueing into Ellis Ross, you ask? Excuse me. Because she is one of the feminists that I approve of. Now, I'm not saying I agree with everything she says. I don't. You never agree with everything that anyone says. I'm saying that Ellis Ross is what healthy feminism looks like. Let me explain. I'm on a quote from a article that I picked up on AOL.com, Article Entertainment. It's a interview that she did. And I'm going to speak, but I don't know how to do her voice, so don't expect to hear Ellis Ross. So she said, it's sort of fascinating to be 45 and single and childless. She tells, I'm going to skip over that. Yes, she was in that TV show Girlfriends that was on for a while. Then she was on Blackish, and I know she was in a lot of other things, but those are the things that stand still in my head.
Far Harbor, Sue, Affair to Remember, Hanging Up, In the Weeds, ICU.com, Daddy for the Girls, and Labor Pains.
Zach!
I'm literally just pulled up the Wikipedia page because I've never heard of this person before. Sorry to make you think I was super knowledgeable about this person, but no, I'm just trying to get a good idea who this is because I
also Diana Ross's daughter.
Oh, really?
Yes. Which is odd when you think about it, because Diana Ross, is that her married name? It's because it's odd that she doesn't. Anyway, I mean, I have my mom's maiden name. So yeah, I have my mom's maiden name, but I've never run across anyone else who has their mom's maiden name.
And actually, out of everything that she's been in, there's only 2 of them that I've even heard the names of, and that's she was in CSI, and she was in Read Between the Lines.
You never heard of Blackish?
No, I haven't.
Educate yourself, Zach. Educate yourself.
There is way too many things in this entire world that I need to know about. I've got to be selective on what I learn.
Blackish touches on a lot of things that are really interesting. I actually think you'll like it because it takes things back to a lot of it'll go back in like to history, and they'll explain it and bring it back into real life.
Okay, but let's jump back into why you were bringing her up.
Oh yes, back to Ellis Ross. So basically in this article, she's saying she feels a need to defend herself because people attack her. She's a successful woman. She's a gorgeous woman. She's a healthy woman. She mindset and body. She knows what she wants, she needs, and what she's out there to get. But she's single and she doesn't have any children, and people attack her for it. Even if they're doing it passive aggressively, they come for her because they can't comprehend a woman who's this successful, this beautiful, and this healthy not being married, not having kids. Let me go on. She said, some of the ability to reflect on what I really want comes from pushing up against a society that shames me for not having the expected trappings. I'm very pleased with my existence these days. Have I learned to make friends with loneliness? Yes. I think if I were in a relationship, it would be the same. She says she has a choiceful solitude. And she also goes on, I think I deleted that part out of my thing, but she also goes on to tell that she says she's not crying because she's not married. She's not crying out of loneliness or anything. She's perfectly content where she is. She goes into a whole bunch of other things, and then we go into. She goes, "The I woke up like this thing is bullshit." Blackish, the TV show that she's on now with Anthony Anderson on ABC Family. They don't pay me, but I like it. Except the last few episodes of the last season, it pissed me off. Anyway, Blackish is in HD. There's no Vaseline on the lenses. At 18, I might have woken up like this, but at 45, I fucking work for it. I love potato chips more than anything in the world, and so I work out hard. I put mask on my face. I take care of myself. And by the way, to me, self-care does not mean going to the spa. It's learning to say no. It's knowing yourself so you can make choices that are an expression of you. That's self-care. And then we'll move on to her Me Too movement support, which I don't support at all. Not even a little bit. It goes into if the USA were in a 12-step program, it would need a really big moral inventory. But one of the things that's been special about this time is that there's a space for one's own unique experience in a way that there wasn't always. The life promised by fairy tales and movies is not relevant in the same way. The white picket fence, blah blah blah, and there are more people telling stories that have different colors and flavors to them. Now, that's what I took from the article because I feel like she has a healthy mind of a feminist. She understands who she is. She knows who she is. She doesn't feel like she's to force herself or her opinion on you, and she also is okay with living her life no matter what you say. She understands that she has the option and choice to do what she wants to do, and but she also seems to understand that everyone else has that option. And don't attack me because I use my option, and I won't attack you because you use your option. That's my perception, and that's what I took from that. I don't agree, nor do I support the Me Too movement, because to me, it's not just the Me Too movement of helping people. To me, there's a purpose behind that Me Too movement, and the purpose behind that Me Too movement is to flip the tables. Excuse me, to flip the tables and understand that when I said at the beginning, women are just as corrupt as men. I meant that. It is a movement to flip the tables so that women can be empowered versus men. And I'm gonna be honest. To me, personally, men are the lesser evil. That's just how I feel personally.
I mean, Agreed.
I pay sometimes, but I'm a total and absolute traditionalist when it comes to a lot of things. I like I like archaic men. I like I like seeing that alpha male. I mean, you don't have to be archaic to be alpha male. I'm not saying that. But I enjoy that alpha male syndrome. I enjoy that I'm going to open the door for you. I don't care if you do get to the second door before me in the restaurant. You sit there and wait for me to open the door. I have not yet to meet a man like that because first of all, it's silly. It really is. If I get to the door before you after you open the first one, why don't I just open this one for us? I mean, really, that's the only logical thing to do. But I enjoy men that want to open the door. I enjoy men that want to pull out that chair. I enjoy men that want to pay. I enjoy men that take control. It's not really about the pain to open the door. It's about taking control and showing you that I got us. He's searching for his love. Nah, he not. He not. He's searching for some punani.
Right.
Yeah, I want to hear my corny joke of the week. Y'all
Sure.
can't be mad at me after I tell it though. Okay. What did Miss Me Too say to Mr. Movement?
What?
Stop. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I ruined it a little bit. Stop the motion.
I need
You know
to
I love corny jokes.
I need to go see my oncologist. I think I just got cancer.
But I love corny jokes. People tell corny jokes and I laugh in a minute. I freaking love them so much.
You must get along with Max real well.
I do get along with Max. Max sits across from me and he says things and I laugh. And then he looks at me and he keeps going and then I keep laughing.
Like 25% of what comes out of his mouth is corny jokes.
I love it. I freaking love Max. Max is awesome.
Sure.
First of all, I can't go to war. You can, per the laws, it's not even a woman that stops them from taking me. It's the fact that I have sleep apnea. I am my mother's only child. I say child because that's how we say it.
I mean, if we're talking about equality, I would very much like to be able to opt out of a war that I certainly don't support. So, I mean, why the hell,
everybody will opt out.
why the hell? Yeah, why the hell am I able to be drafted? Yeah, why am I able to be drafted to a war against a bunch of brown people over in the Middle East that never done no wrong to me?
Or Haiti, where they're taking up all their energy like they would Wakanda if Wakanda was real. Just saying.
I mean, well, yeah, it's just imperialism, which came as a subset of just a capitalist expansion because you need resources to sell it. You guys ever heard of the banana wars?
What?
I would look into that. It is literally a war started in the South America or South Africa just to steal bananas.
That's weird. Anywho,
Yeah, sorry, I keep taking it away from the whole feminism aspect.
it's okay. It's okay. It live is up the show. We keep it rocking. If they listening to us, they know we awesome. But Here's how I feel that feminism has really overall affected dating. Men are scared. Men don't even want to take the first step to approach you anymore. I'm saying every man that I've run across, they're scared. Any men that I've run across, some men that I see online, a lot of men that I see online, they express that they're afraid. They're afraid of reading. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
They're afraid to touch a woman without her jumping and accusing him of something. They're afraid to have sex with a woman without and then her saying afterwards that she raped him. They're afraid of catching a case. It's
Well,
almost like they've turned every man into black men.
and
Let me explain.
I, I need to interject and say that I think the real reason behind that fear isn't necessarily because of feminism, but because of public perception in the way that accusations of rape have been handled in the
Oh
past
my
couple of
god,
years.
yes. I rape is
So,
not a thing. It does
so
not exist.
yeah, it doesn't. But if you are a man that is accused of rape, if you're just accused of it, it's already open shut. You in the court of public opinion are already guilty.
Yep.
There is no innocent until proven guilty for people who are being accused of being a rapist. So if some girl goes to the police and say, "Hey, this guy raped me," like I when I brought up earlier with the Me Too movement, where I thought it was relating to that college incident. There was some guy on a college campus, and I think it was in 2011, where he was accused of being raped by or of raping a some other girl that was attending the same college as him. There's literally no evidence. Her alibi fell through. Like every bit of her story had nothing but holes in it, and it didn't matter. He got rejected from the college. He lost his internship. He lost everything just from being accused of being a rapist, and there being no evidence. There wasn't a trial. Everything fell through, and his whole life got ruined simply on the accusation. Not because anything came from that accusation, but because he was accused. The accuser was white, and the accused was white. They were both white.
Facts.
I mean,
I
yeah,
have to interject here and say even when a black man does not rape a white woman, like even when it's an excuse. It's an excuse to tear down didn't they do that to a town, Tay? Didn't they didn't they kill a whole entire town off the word of a white woman? Yeah. Yeah. Every and people say, why don't black people come together? Why don't they I have to go off topic. Why don't black people come together? Why don't they build? They can't keep blaming the white man. We can. Because the two times we tried, they literally tore it down. Exactly. But they not brown. They're not people that were slaves to you.
I do need to say that in my experience of having seen racist conversations and conversations with racists, a lot of white people who are racists hold Asians to be higher than white people. Yeah, but, mostly because of that stereotype that Asians are so much smarter than white people.
Hello, Chinese people. Chinese people are. Do you know Chinese people are pretty much one of the few that have not been colonized by white people?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yep.
Well, here I'm talking about in China.
Google Japanese
They went
internment.
to all these countries, taken from them, colonizing with colonizing them. They didn't do that to China.
Yeah, they didn't need to. They destroyed them with the opium trade instead.
Oh, oh, they did the backdoor crap.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, poor Chinese people.
Yeah, China was
Was that offensive?
no. China was a thriving empire, and then once Europeans got around the whole Indian trade, they went further along the coast, and then they found China, and they're like, "Oh, hey, here's all your opium." And then China's like, "Well, you just killed the productivity of my entire country. Could you not?" And England was just like, fuck you, we're England. We own the entire world at this point in history, so no, we're not going to stop the trade."
And not only that, we have Trump who's putting what tariff taxes on everything.
Oh God, don't start that shit. Trump is literally destroying everything. That's for a different time. I mean, at that time, in that specific point in time, it was England, because England owned every colony at that point. The whole phrase "the sun never sets on the English Empire" was literally true at one point in time. That was the same time that the opium trade killed China.
Because Zach
I'm
and
involved.
Fun, okay.
Because I'm involved. It'll always go back to politics if I'm in the conversation. Yeah, please do. Oh, God. I still can't believe that Kanye hugged a man that pardoned the sheriff that reinstituted chain gangs.
He got something on Kanye. We know he got something on Kanye. We just don't know what he got on Kanye, okay?
I just think Kanye is just dumb, and he's honestly just taking the position because he thinks it's a popular position to take.
How is it popular when everyone in the world hates this man?
And yet he was elected president. He was elected president.
Okay. X all this out. Me and Zach are gonna do another rant on story time and
About politics. Yeah, I'm down.
And we're going to skip over. We're going to go into dating. We're going to go into closing because we can go on off topic on other things a lot.
Yeah.
Everyone pick their closing on how you feel modern, not the past, but modern feminism has affected the dating world. So long. Wait. Let a black woman say it. No. Let a girl at a college say it about the wrong guy and watch him go to jail and pop right back out. Exactly. Exactly. But what about her future with the mental torment of that? In your experience, right?
Okay.
Zach?
I'd say overall, feminism might play a role in how people who identify themselves as a feminist view normal relationship and how it's supposed to be built. But I'd say overall, as far as dating goes, there are a number of factors that are as influential, if not more influential, on how dating has become as much as feminism has. Online dating, for example, where you have Tinder and stuff like that. That's changed everything a whole lot. The influx of the rape cases and how they end up getting handled and what false rape accusations can do to people. And you were saying like watch the white guy be accused of rape by a black girl and then get out like 6 months later. Show me where that happens where the guy isn't fucking rich. Because I think money plays a larger hand in that.
Yes,
I think
it
it plays a much larger
does.
hand in that than race does. If you've got enough money to get a nice lawyer, that's all that matters. Money is all that matters in court. So that's then we can debate that some other time. But as far as my closing statement go, I mean, we again we can have that conversation some other time. But
Hey, I'm gonna look. We could do that another time. I'm gonna have you guys on if you guys are willing. I'm developing a podcast game show that I'll tell you guys about later on. But
ooh,
it's a debate game show.
oh.
It is the everything that I'm building around it. I just feel like it's gold. So you guys, I think will love that. And I think the first thing you could debate is some racial issues. Because Zach, you're hilarious. Tay, you're hilarious. And it's about being quick and getting to your point. And I think you both can do that. But I'm sorry, Zach, I
Oh
interrupted.
no, you're fine. I didn't have too much else to say. I just think feminism might play a part, but I think there are a lot of other factors that play an equally large part that make dating just completely different than it was like 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's just a completely different ball game and anybody if you had a time machine, you took somebody from 40 years ago and put them in today's day and age and say, "Hey, go find someone to date." Just wouldn't fucking happen. It just wouldn't. No one see that person would not know what the hell they were doing. Yep,
Oh
catfishing
my
is its
God,
own whole
that
thing.
TV show, people are so mean.
Well, man,
And on that note, we're going to exit because we can.
okay.
Okay. Go into a little bit of
What?
catfishing.
No,
Go into a
no,
little bit of catfishing.
just one thing. There was a college humor video that came out about catfishing, and it was this guy in full military regalia had a folded flag, came up to this house, and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for like some random female name like Liz." And the guy just starts bawling, and he's like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm Liz. I'm Liz. I was catfishing this guy, and I've been catfishing him for like years and years, and I was going to have this whole thing where we were going to get married, and then this, that, and the other, and then right at the end I was going to break it off. But oh my god, it's so sad to hear that he's dead." And like the military guy that's holding the flag for the fallen soldier is just like, "What the hell's going on?" And then like right near the end of it, a second one comes up with a second flag, and he's like, "Oh god, it's the worst day of my life, not him too." I thought it was pretty fucking funny.
Wow.
Look it up. Look it up if you get the chance.
Don't get catfish.
Don't,
Meet them within the first week of knowing them. Second week
yeah.
at most. Okay? You need to see their face. Yeah, and I say this because my dad catfished me when I was 13 on a
What?
website called Tagged. We're not going to go into that.
All right.
All we can say is I love my dad, but he did some asshole type shit. Um,
Okay.
and on that note, it's like, no, I'm not going to go into that. On that note, thank you all for listening. Stay with me for a moment, guys, as I tell the people about Governor Loopy and I advertise myself and how awesome I am. So I have
Sure.
3 podcasts total. If you're on this YouTube page, you've probably seen them. I have public playlists with everything on it. Governor Loopy's Rant. I have Story Time, which Zach is on one of the story times. We call it the Story Time Rant because Zach's good at ranting and it's funny to me.
Oh, I absolutely am.
we have Tay as Valley author. She did the first story time ever, and she goes in on Samson and Delilah. And oh my god, the hip hop. That word's not going to come out right today. The just craziness of it. Okay, so just definitely check those out. Follow me on Instagram. I am Govna Loopy, like I am here. Only difference is Govna is GOVNA, one word, _ Loopy. I also have a Facebook group and all that other crap. But if you go to my Instagram, there's a link that leads to everything. It's one link that has everything goes to one page. It's awesome. I love modern technology. A shout out to DJ Killzone who didn't join us tonight. He's normally with us. He hasn't missed an episode since the first one. He has beats and bits that he tends to do on Saturday, sometimes Sunday, but I mostly seen him do it Saturday lately. Check out DJ Killzone Jones on his page. I also listened to this guy this week. I like to share podcasts that I like because, I mean, we're in the podcast industry and it's hard out here for a pimp. So I listened to this guy on Apple Podcasts, of course, because that's the best place to find any podcast, along with all of mine. Well, first of all, I listened to Theo Vaughn, and he has a podcast called This Past Weekend. He's odd but weird and funny. And I also listened to Dented Dimension, who is also weird but funny. These are some great podcasts that you can look up on YouTube for this past weekend. He's on Spotify, iTunes. I know for a fact that Dented Dimension is on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcast. Excuse me.
Podcast.
Podcast. Thank you. So if you have an Android, Google Podcasts. If you have an Apple Podcasts. I mean, Windows no longer exists. If you still have a Windows phone, I'm sorry for you in your life. Anyway, any podcast you guys interested in or listening to, or anybody that you want to shout out, or any podcast that you have?
I'll shout out one YouTube channel real quick just because I should. One of my favorite YouTube channels for getting news in general is called Some More News. It's a comedy thing. If anybody has watched anything from Cracked, he used to do a show on Cracked before it got bought by a right-wing outlet, and then I'm not sure if he lost his job or if he just quit. Either way, he's still doing his news show there. It's really fucking great.
And what's it called again?
It's called Some More News.
Some More News.
Yeah, with Cody Johnson as your host.
That's some political shit, ain't it?
Oh, of course it is.
Oh yeah, I know it is.
Coming from me.
Well, if we've all gotten everything out that we want to promote, I'm going to look into that Some More News. Then we are happy that you guys watched us or listened to us, you know. And we hope you come back for more. Next week we will be back on communication and dating. Oh my God. It's such a large subject that it's going to be the theme of our 3rd season. We're just going to touch on it next week. Our third whole season is going to be on communication, and it's needed. I hope to have Tay with me because she is the communication queen. She knows everything. Tay, you want to say something real quick before we head out? I hear you over there. Oh my god. And if you don't understand the language, you got to express it. Express yourself. Well, well said, Tay. Well said. And on that note, we're going to end. Thank you guys for watching. Again, join us next week. We'll be on between 9 and 11. You should subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we get on. I don't set the time until the week of. Pay attention to my social media page, particularly Instagram that I just gave you guys, Governor GOVNA underscore Loopy. And every announcement of when we're going to be live will come out either Wednesday or Thursday of an exact time of when we're going to be live. Again, thank you guys for listening and have an awesome rest of your weekend.
Bye.